Rama की जय, प्रभुपाद की
जय ओम Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Stotra Stotra Shri Mata's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Stotra Stotra Shri Mata's Divine Grace Aarti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai Sri Gaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Sri Gaura ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki Vrindavan Dham ki Mathura Dham ki Navadvip Dham ki Jagannath Puri Dham ki Mayapur Dham ki Ganga Maya Yamuna Maya ki Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi ki Sankirtan Yagya ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Oh, very cool.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Pralada Lada Daine. Jaya Narasimha Dev, 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 Jaya Bhaktapala, Jaya Bhaktapala, Jaya Bhaktapala, Jaya Bhaktapala.
Krishna Bhagavan ki Jaya ki Jaya Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. My name is Krshna Dulal Prabhu, and I'd like to welcome you all to our temple here, at the residence of our beloved Shri Shri Gaura Nitai ki Jaya. Thank you. So I can see that we have some guests here that are coming perhaps for the first time. Is there anybody here for the first time? Raise your hand. Yeah. Well, we have some guests and some familiar faces from a long time ago. I'm sure you've been here. I can recognize faces. When you were here, I was probably this tall. So, it was some time ago. So welcome. It's really nice to have you here. And I was going to say it at the end, but I wanted to mention it. Mother Parinchi has sponsored today's Sunday Feast program, and she has invited her friends to come. So let's give them a warm round of applause and welcome. Thank you all for coming. And I'd also like to acknowledge, do we have some guests online as well joining us today too?
We have low internet connection.
Low internet connection. Oh no. Okay. So maybe that'll fix itself and they can join and log on and join us. So we just finished having a Kirtan, Aarti, and now the next part of the program is we'll have a little bit of discussion from Bhagavad Gita. We'll have a reading from Bhagavad Gita, and after that we'll have some more Kirtan and some prasadam, which is food that has been offered to the Lord, and we'll share in that afterwards. So hopefully you can stay for the duration of the program. Thank you. So we'll start off with singing Jaya Radha Madhava.
Yeah, do you need
Oh, yeah, there's. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Could I ask everybody to move forward, please? Thank you. And the chairs, you can stay where you are. You don't have to move your chairs forward. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text 9. This chapter is entitled The Opulence of the Absolute. Machita madgata prana udayanta parasparam katayantas chamam nityam tusyanti cha ramanti cha. We can do the word for word together. Machitaha.
Machitaha.
Their minds fully engaged in me.
Their minds fully engaged in me.
Madgata prana.
Madhava Prana.
Their lives devoted to me.
Their lives devoted to me.
Udayantaha.
Udayantaha.
Preaching.
Preaching.
Parasparam.
Parasparam.
Among themselves.
Among themselves.
Katayantaha.
Udayantaha.
Talking.
Talking.
Cha.
Cha.
Also.
Also.
Mam.
Mam.
About me.
About me.
Nityam.
Nityam.
Perpetually.
Perpetually.
Tusyanti.
Tusyanti.
Become pleased.
Become pleased.
Cha.
Cha.
Also.
Also.
Ramanti.
Ramanti.
Enjoy transcendental bliss.
Enjoy transcendental bliss.
Cha.
Cha.
Also.
Also.
Translation. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. Purport. pure devotees whose characteristics are mentioned here engage themselves fully in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Their minds cannot be diverted from the lotus feet of Krishna. Their talks are solely on the transcendental subjects. The symptoms of the pure devotees are described in this verse specifically. Devotees of the Supreme Lord are 24 hours daily engaged in glorifying the qualities and pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Their hearts and souls are constantly submerged in Krishna, and they take pleasure in discussing him with other devotees. In the preliminary stage of devotional service, they relish the transcendental pleasure from the service itself. And in the mature stage, they are actually situated in love of God. Once situated in that transcendental position, they can relish the highest perfection which is exhibited by the Lord in his abode. Lord Chaitanya likens transcendental devotional service to the sowing of a seed in the heart of a living entity. There are innumerable living entities traveling throughout the different planets of the universe, and out of them, there are a few who are fortunate enough to meet a pure devotee and get the chance to understand devotional service. This devotional service is just like a seed, and if it is sown in the heart of a living entity, and if he goes on hearing and chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That seed fructifies, just as the seed of a tree fructifies with regular watering. The spiritual plant of devotional service gradually grows and grows until it penetrates the covering of the material universe and enters into the Brahmajyoti effulgence in the spiritual sky. In the spiritual sky also, that plant grows more and more until it reaches the highest planet, which is called Goloka Vrindavan, the supreme planet of Krishna. Ultimately, the plant takes shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna and rests there. Gradually, as the plant grows fruits and flowers, that plant of devotional service also produces fruits, and the watering process in the form of chanting and hearing goes on. This plant of devotional service is fully described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 19. It is explained there that when the complete plant takes shelter under the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, one becomes fully absorbed in love of God. Then he cannot live even for a moment without being in contact with the Supreme Lord, just as a fish cannot live without water. In such a state, the devotee actually attains the transcendental qualities in contact with the Supreme Lord. The Srimad Bhagavatam is also full of such narrations about the relationship between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Therefore, the Srimad Bhagavatam is very dear to the devotees, as stated in the Bhagavatam itself, 12:13-18. Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. In this narration, there is nothing about material activities, economic development, sense gratification, or liberation. Srimad Bhagavatam is the only narration in which the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord and his devotees is fully described. Thus, the realized soul in Krishna consciousness takes continual pleasure in hearing such transcendental literatures, just as a young boy and girl take pleasure in association. Om Ajnanatinayam Dasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Tasmai Shri Mukam Karoti Vachalam Yat Kripatadaham Brahmani Shivanam Vishnu Krishna Nirantara Swami Nahata Prayasana Prabhupada Tuste Sankirtan Pravritti Artari Atenshu Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutaya Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaura Vani Pracharya Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachi Satar Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Before I speak anything on this verse, I'd like to humbly ask the devotees here for their blessings, so that whatever comes out of my mouth will be somewhat in line with parampara. And I look for your blessings also and corrections. If there's anything that you want to say afterwards, please, we'll have some time for reflection, comments, question, etc. So, sorry. So I was thinking about this verse. We talked about this in Russell a little bit. We have a program on Saturdays at around 11. And we come together with one other family and just spend some time together. We read from the Bhagavad Gita verse, we chant, and we have some prasadam. We few of us make something, and then we share in prasadam. And it's been something that has been going on, for a little bit of, almost I think over a year. And just weekly we come together and we do that. And I was thinking how this activity is so nourishing. Same thing goes with coming to the temple, regularly meeting with devotees at the temple, just walking through, seeing all these wonderful persons in here with big smiles on their face, smiling and uttering transcendental side vibrations out of their mouths. It's just so pleasing to the heart when you come and see this. It's really like a satisfaction, right? Satisfaction is there. And this verse is talking about this. It's actually saying that when you come in contact with persons who are trying to become servants of God, right? Who are making it a point to try to go beyond a little bit me and this concept of ownership, and to feel that I would like to do something to please the Lord. It becomes very nourishing for some strange reason, isn't it? Do you ever have that experience that maybe you went to the church, or you went to the mosque, or to the temple, and it's just something, pushed you to go, and you kind of went, and you're like, yeah, I needed that. That was good. Does anybody have that feeling? Is it just me? Yeah, Krishna Seva once had that feeling. A few times. Yeah, there's something to it, It's hard to put the finger on it, but it's just like, it feels like it's needed. Some other things, you could maybe deal without, or you could live without, but something inside of the heart propels one to come and to keep on associating with people of like mind, specifically when it comes to trying to do something to the Lord. And Krishna says here, he's speaking with Arjuna, Bhagavad Gita, and he says, the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. So he's saying that my devotees, they're thinking about him, but their thoughts and their concerns dwell in Krishna. Krishna is fully conscious of them, and he's thinking about it. Their lives are fully devoted to my service. He says, all they want to do is serve me. They're thinking about me all the time. And they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. And he's saying, and they derive a lot of satisfaction by talking about me and trying to scheme and plan. What could I do to please Krishna? What could I do to make a connection with Krishna? Now why? Now you could come and think about this. Why are these devotees so interested in wanting to talk and converse about God so often? Why do they get so much pleasure from performing such activities? Any thoughts? Why do you think?
The nature of the soul is to be served.
Okay, Sahib Prabhu is saying nature of the soul is to serve. Okay, thank you. Any other thoughts?
Is to give is the attitude of giving. If you are feeling the blissfulness, you want to reciprocate and try to give to others by sharing the message of the Lord.
Okay, thank you. So you want to reciprocate with what you're getting from the Lord and share it with others. Yes? Is that what you're saying? And so, but why the Lord in particular? Why not talk about, like golf or something? Or talk about, going on a trip somewhere with the friends and how this was a lot of fun. Talking about maybe, the plans for the summer where we can go, maybe go see Wonderland. Has anybody ever been to Wonderland? Nice place. Or Calypso. Why is Krishna not saying that these persons derive great satisfaction talking about making plans to go to Wonderland? Why specifically about the Lord? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. For me, it gives me a lot of satisfaction. Anxiety goes away.
when I talk to other people about it, it feels that I'm spending time and talking about Lord Krishna rather gossiping about other people. It gives a lot of satisfaction, purity comes out of it. And I feel like when you talk about Krishna, you want to talk more about him. For any number of reasons you want to talk about it.
Okay, thanks. Mother Shruti is saying she can't quite put her finger on it, but she knows she feels good. It makes her feel good, and so she's sharing this with us. Thank you. Yes, Mataji.
Krishna's other name is Satchidananda. So he is the source of all enjoyment. So whatever you do for him, it will give you enjoyment. So that's why.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. She's touching on a point. She's saying because it's our constitutional nature. So, and Prabhupada talks about this here. He's saying that when one does not perform activities that are a part of their constitutional nature, he gives an analogy. It's like a fish out of water. It's out of the fish out of water. A fish's constitutional position is not to be on land and trying to live and survive, but it's to be swimming in the water. And similarly, the constitutional position of the soul is to have a relationship with Krishna, with the Lord. It says that the soul within the heart is full of knowledge, full of bliss, and is eternal. And its function is to serve Krishna, to engage in bhakti, devotion, and love. And it's said that love should only be reserved for Krishna. This term love is very often thrown around loosely. People say, I love you. And Mother Lakshmi Muni would often say, they say this, but hardly do they know who I am, who you are, and what love means. We try, as living entities, we try in this world to scrub a little bit of happiness, a little bit of enjoyment here. Maybe if we make some kind of barter arrangements with somebody, we'll work out some nice situation, living situation for ourselves and for them. We'll compromise. You know, maybe when we'll get married, let's make sure we cover all our bases. Let's sign a prenup. That way, when you break up with me and sue me, I'm not like, you know, not out of a house completely. So they make all of these plans. They engage in politics, economics. They want to be smart, want to make sure that their, you know, estate is in good hands and all of these things. But like we heard the other day, Prahlad Maharaj, when he was speaking to his classmates, he was trying to tell them, you know, their teachers were trying to teach them about politics, about economics, and all of those things. And there was no mention about service to the Lord. And Prahlad Maharaj was saying that we should give up this thought of ownership. We try to identify with the body that I own this, and our enemies own this also. And this kind of mentality, this kind of thoughts, this kind of way of living, just simply trying to accumulate or trying to acquire pious credits, do good things, karma, good karma, bad karma, it's entangling. And it's a cause of suffering, a lot of suffering. And the Bhagavad Gita is a science that really pretty much dives into this. And Arjuna is speaking to Krishna and trying to explain this here. So this conditioned state, this is kind of compared to, you know, devotees say that it's like we're in this material world. It's not our natural state. It's our fish out of the water state. And it can be compared to somebody who has jaundice or some kind of a sickness. You know, we get colds all the time. You can get cold, you get sick. And sometimes we get better. Most of the times we get better. Everybody goes through it. I get a cold at least once or twice a year. Maybe even more sometimes. And what happens when you get a cold, right, or when you get sick? You have to, generally, if you want to get better, you drink some hot drink, you take some medicine, you have to maybe watch the type of food that you eat. And when you do that, you start to feel gradually better. But you come to your normal self, you become satisfied. And so this example of somebody who has jaundice is that whenever they taste something that's sweet, right, it tastes really bitter. They can't quite grasp the benefit of it, or the taste, yes. And it's like this sometimes with chanting the holy name. When they hear the Hare Krishnas, or they see people who are trying to be servants of God, they can they can deride them, right, or maybe belittle them, say that they're just sentimentalists, that this isn't, there's no joy. Why are they chanting and they're doing this thing? Because they don't really have necessarily a taste. But if one takes the association of Vaishnavas, of saintly-like people, and tries to focus this on this a little bit, and gradually starts to take more association, hear the holy name, eventually take small bits of sweetness here and there, then you can, it's called like a sick man's food. You just take a little bit, and as you get better, you get more strength, you can take more. And then when you get really much better and you're full of energy, you can eat a full serving. You could chant Hare Krishna. And when you eat a full serving of food, and you taste something that's really good, it's very satisfying. You feel that it tastes good. And it's kind of like this with devotional service. When one performs devotional service, it's satisfying. When you talk about Krishna and you are taking the association of likely-minded people, it's a satisfaction. You feel a satisfaction. And nobody has to tell you, you're satisfied right now. You feel it. It's like when you eat something good, you can feel that you have a nourishment right in your body. I had this one experience many years ago. I was probably grade 9 or grade 10, maybe even before that. And my parents sent me on a trip to go to Poland. And I went to visit my family there. I went with my cousin. And we went, like part of the 3-month trip was we went for 2 weeks to Yugoslavia, Croatia. And it's a nice place. There's nice beaches there, there's water. And spent a vacation there. My grandmother was there too. And she was telling me, says, yes, take advantage. It's so beautiful here. You can go in the salt water. It's good for your bones. And I'm like 12 years old or so, and not really interested in bathing and the healing effects of salt water for my bones. So we're kind of bored throughout the day. And at nighttime it was disco time, so you would go, it's like, playing really loud at nighttime when you would go by. It was like a party central. And I was starting to really miss the devotees, miss my parents, and miss the act of coming to the temple, and because that was the upbringing that I was raised with. That my parents would bring me to the temple. I would come, I'd hear class, I'd participate in Kirtan. Sometimes I'd get exposure. I'd get to go on book distribution with some friends. I would see all you wonderful devotees in the back there, and you'd be coming and pinching my cheeks from side to side here and there. So it was those samskars, those impressions were present in my mind, and I was feeling as though something was really missing. And I remember I was walking on the beach and thinking, I could only see devotees. And then in front of me, I saw this couple that was walking. They both had their hand in the japa bag. They were chanting. One was wearing neck beads, and he had a sika. And I said, devotees! And I went up to them, I introduced myself, and I asked them, is there a place where devotees gather somewhere here? And they were saying, yes, actually tomorrow we have a Sunday program. It's just on the island. You take the ferry, so you go there. And so I went with my grandmother and my cousin the next day. I said, we need to go. She said, okay, fine, let's go. Let's go check it out. And it was nice. It was just like here. They were getting together, and they were chanting, and it was awesome prasadam. And it felt like, wow, it was a real satisfaction. A satisfaction to this whole, this made this vacation complete. So it was really nice. So this verse talks about these kind of experiences, and in this purport, Prabhupada's also giving this process. Also, he's giving analogies, watering the seed. He's saying that when you have this bit of devotion that's there, you water it, and you take shelter under the lotus feet of the Lord. And the watering process is simply hearing and chanting. So chanting Hare Krishna. Again, this is such a beautiful mantra, this Maha Mantra, this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and it's very universal. Its meaning is, oh Lord, please engage me in your service. Please make me a channel of your peace. How may I serve you? How may I connect with you? It's a very, very nice prayer. It's non-sectarian. Everybody can chant it. And I wanted to finish off with one bhajan, and I will talk about translation here a little bit, because it's called Kirtan in the City. It says, Nadia Godrume Nityananda Mahajan, Patya Chenam Mataji Berakaran. Translation to this verse is, in Nadia's Godruma, the great soul, Lord Nityananda, has opened a marketplace to sell the holy name to the conditioned souls. The next verse says, O faithful people, O my brothers, by the Lord's command, I ask this charity of you, please chant Krishna, worship Krishna, and learn and teach about Krishna. Third verse, chant Krishna's name without offense. Accept Krishna as your mother. Accept Krishna as your father. Accept Krishna as your wealth and your life. 4. Give up all sins. Make Krishna your whole world. Be merciful to all souls. Chant Krishna's names. That is the essence of all religion. What a nice prayer, isn't it? This is the essence of all religion. So, just before I came here, I had the opportunity to participate in a program in Cornwall. I work in Cornwall on Sundays, and for the last few weeks, there are a few devotees that live there in Cornwall, and it's been months actually, and we've been planning and trying to see if we could get a gathering somewhere in Cornwall and have a little bhakti yoga program. So we went, we looked at one yoga studio, I called them, and they said, no, yeah, we'd like to meet you. And then I called a few times, and she never called me back, so I thought that was a dead issue. Then we went to the community center, then we found another place, and I was thinking, for heaven's sake, Cornwall's a big enough place, why can't we find a place to get together and meet? And then finally, we found this one place, which was the Lions Club. Does anybody know what the Lions Club is? Have you ever heard of it? It's like a club for veterans. They come together, and they have their own association. They have their own activities. They have their own members. So I was directed to, why don't you try the Lions Club? And so I gave them a call, and I said, we're a bhakti yoga group, and we're looking for a place to maybe get together once a week. And do you have any space? And the gentleman, the president of the club, said, yeah, normally we don't. Usually on Sundays we're not open, but I guess you're a charitable group? I said, yes. He said, well, I guess you could use one of the spaces. And so he was calculating, and he says, would $70 be okay? I said, well, whatever you could charge us, we'll see if we can get donations. He said, we'll do 60. I said, okay, 60 sounds good. And so it was kind of like, do I need to sign any papers or something? He says, no, it's fine. Do you want me to pay for it right now? He says, well, just pay for it when you come. You can bring the money when you come. And so we just shook a hand, and that's it. He says, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Okay, see you in 2 weeks. So today is around 12 o'clock. We put up a couple of Krishna Seva Prabhu and Madhava Karani Janaki made a little poster for us saying, learn the science of bhakti or something like that in Cornwall, and it had some nice pictures of prasadam and activities and instruments, and some of our friends in Cornwall, they posted it on social media, and a few new people came. Some people local that were living to there also came, and they participated, and there was 19 of us today. Something, 19 of us, and we were there. The gentleman let us in. And we had the Kirtan. There was a lot of kids present. We read from Bhagavad Gita. We read this verse from Bhagavad Gita, and then we had some prasadam. Devotees locally, they brought prasadam. They made it, and afterwards, as I was about to leave, I met the gentleman downstairs who opened the Lions Club for us and let us use the room, and I gave him the $60. I said, thank you so much, and he took it and he said, thank you. He says, now I'm going to give it back to you. I said, you give it back to me? He says, yes, we're just going to chalk it out as community service. I said, really? Are you sure? He says, yeah, take it as a donation. Right? So I give it as a donation. And he said, you could come every week. We could come, and we're happy to sponsor, right, for you to be able to do this. So big shout out to the Lions Club. Let's give them a round. Thank you so much. And so before we left, we gave the gentleman a plate of prasadam. And we said, okay, we'll see you next week before we come. But you could see the people who came by, it was really satisfying for them. It was something that was really nice experience. And when you think about, let's say somebody like myself who's stuck on vacation somewhere, is wishing where, could I find some devotees somewhere? Or somebody, let's say, worse than that, who is really actually struggling, having a hard time in life, and is sick, mentally, spiritually, and he doesn't know why. Doesn't know even why, doesn't know the reason, but he knows that they're unhappy. They know that they're unhappy. Right? To have a place like this, to have places of refuge like this, where people could come together and have this kind of an experience, it's also a big satisfaction. It's a real satisfaction to the soul. And Krishna actually says this in Bhagavad Gita. Right? Those who bring others, to Krishna, to him, to the Father, they're very dear to him. They're considered very dear to him. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Srila Prabhupada ki Jaya. Maybe I thought before we continue with the program, are there any questions or comments or reflections? Maybe you had some experience yourself of going to a holy place, or the effect that it had on your life, and you would like to share it with us. We would love to hear from you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dr. Will.
Okay. I went to a Hanuman temple once, and they were doing Aarti, and then they were throwing holy water, and I could see the vibration in the air, and I was like, wow, there's really something going on here.
Nice.
And I kind of used my mind a bit about, praying to deities.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Thank you. So you had a very holy experience going to a Hanuman temple,
Yeah.
feeling the presence of the Lord there.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for sharing. All right, well. Anybody else? Oh, Gita Prabhu in the back there. We're coming.
Okay, I don't need a mic. I like to come to, sometimes at home, the devotional service sort of goes round and round, doesn't lead nowhere. Or it leads slowly to something, to Krishna. But when you come to the temple, it's like you feel Krishna and the devotees, you feel the vibration and the holy name. Everybody's dancing, and it brings joy. It purifies the heart, and it gives you the will to want to do something to serve Krishna in any way. It can be shoveling the driveway or washing the dishes.
It's contagious, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a way. So Krishna's with his devotees. That's what I want to say.
Yes.
He's present with his devotees.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Oh, Vrindavan Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
I really like the reflection of Lions Club. It really gives a strong motivation that you just need to reach out, and Krishna will make sure everything will set in place. You just need to go and ask what you want in the service of the Lord, and everything will be taken care. So, looking for a place, you don't find it, and then Lions Club, they agreed, and they give you the place and give you the money back and ask you to come every week. So that's really amazing to hear. So it gives us a motivation and inspiration that we just need to go out and
partake in the process.
Yes.
Yeah. It's Gaura Tide, they already have a plan. They already want to do it there. So you have a choice. You could be a part of it and have a great time and be fully satisfied, or you could sit on the sidelines and be grumpy. So thank you for your reflection, Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Okay, thank you. So we'll conclude with Kirtan. And on that note, since we're talking about Sangha, or association of like-minded people, like-minded sadhus, we have our Vaishnava Sangha Festival, which is coming up August 16th to the 20th. We have a poster up there, and this is like a 4 or 5 day retreat in Quebec. It's about 4 hours away from here, and we have some really wonderful speakers, guests coming, Maharajas that will be coming and giving us their association speaking, having Kirtan. And this is really great. You could take a hotel accommodation if you want to on a registration. You could stay on site, although I think our on-site spaces are slowly filling up. I got the message from Krishna Seva Prabhu that we already have 104 people registered. Haribol! So, but we've booked a lot more. We still have 80 hotel rooms that we've booked, for the devotees who could come, guests who want to come and attend. And you could take it in whatever dose you want to take it. If you like to attend all of the classes, all of the morning programs, all of the kirtans, or one a day, this is this kind of an environment where you can come and have a good time and have, again, the associations of wonderful devotees. Okay, so we'll continue with some kirtan. Sorry. Would you like to lead kirtan? And then Ryan.
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaur Premanande.
Radha Krishna Gopina Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jaya.